It helps if I unmute my microphone. Let's try this again. You thought we were having audio difficulties, didn't you?
Psych.
I was messing with you guys. Okay, there we go. You can see my whole face now. So we're not having audio difficulties. We are working. And I have Brooke and Angela here, so I'm going to add them to the stream. Hold on just a second. Hey, girls.
Hello.
I forgot to unmute my microphone. I'm like, I was just messing with you guys.
Right? I was gonna say we're just checking. Make sure everybody's paying attention at this point.
They're like, not again.
Right. We're gonna get those hater comments.
I know. Oh my god. Okay, so
No,
what
we're
have you?
good.
I know, finally. What have you two been up to?
There you go.
Oh, look at her!
Look at that! She's like our
Look at
pool.
that! Oh, I'm so jealous. Love it.
And it's beautiful out here tonight. So
Oh, it looks
I
gorgeous.
remember last time I was in a pool.
I know, right?
Oh, God.
There will be a day, ladies, when we're all three around a pool. We're right.
Mine's coffee.
Oh, mine's not.
Nice.
I need my caffeine. I'm telling you what. Oh, God. So we had an adventure today. We had to go to FedEx or Fed. I can't even talk.
That place?
We had to go to FedEx today because they were supposed to send Larry's medication here at the Petro.
Yeah.
And they did. They said they came here, but Petro refused the package after they told me, "Oh, we'll sign for it, no problem, you're good." So they refused the package. So I called yesterday. I'm like, we're FedEx truck drivers, and we really need that medication. It's refrigerated.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, no problem, we'll deliver it to you, sometime today." I'm like, "Okay, sure, no problem." So we waited around the whole day, and they never showed up. So we had to go chase it down this morning. And finally got his medication, so we're all good.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad you got that figured out.
Yes. So you had a busy day today, Brooke.
Yes. My son's getting married in 2 weeks from today, and we had her bridal shower today, and it was so awesome, you guys. I've got the best daughter-in-law. She's going to be the best ever. I love her.
That's cool.
That's important. That's important. You got to like your daughter-in-law.
And she loves me. I mean, that's all I was asking for is that, I wasn't too much for her.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. All these comments are coming in. I'm not even putting them up. I'm just having a good time chatting with you ladies. I'm sorry.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live.
Welcome.
Angela, how are you feeling?
At the moment, much better. Actually, the last about 5 hours, I've felt better. I'm sitting here, cross my fingers. I can sit here the whole hour. So, but I don't know. It's just back problems are a funky thing that have no rhyme nor reason. So it feels like it's getting better.
Good.
Oh, that's good. Arkansas loves Brooke and Johnny.
Love you too, Arkansas.
And nobody loves me. No, just kidding.
Oh, that's not true. I get so many, have you talked to Angie today? Yeah.
I know. Every time I'm live streaming, have you guys met Brooke and Johnny yet? Have you talked to them? I'm like, I talk to Brooke all the time.
We talk daily. That's right.
Yes. Okay, and I have to say, I'm not going to say what you said, but that message that you sent me and Angela this morning, I literally put my coffee out everywhere. That was so funny.
I knew you guys needed a laugh, and I knew Lorie would enjoy it, so I'm just letting it all out.
So, I know. Oh my God. We went
I'm
on.
gonna have a T-shirt made with that on there. You know that, right?
I think you should.
I know. Did you? Not to change the subject, but did you by chance see Pat and Heather's funny live stream they did this week?
No, I didn't. Was it
You gotta
fabulous?
love- It was Heather's so funny. It was so funny.
I love
Pat
her.
was grilling her. I was dying. You'll have to go. I'll send you the link. You'll have to watch
I was
it.
gonna say I'll have to go watch it.
Yeah. So before I forget, we have a guest speaker that's going to be on in just a little bit. She'll be on about 10 minutes or so. Her name's Melissa Ryckman. You guys may know her as Mother Trucker. And she has a new book out. And so we're super excited to talk to her about it. And I've been talking to her a lot. And what I love the most is that we both got into trucking late in life, so we could kind of relate to that, and we had kind of similar trucking school experiences, although her trucking school sounded amazing. I mean, she was like, they had a hairdresser in there, nice cafeteria. I'm like, where did you go?
Makes me want to go to
Sounded
driving
way
school.
cool.
I know.
Yeah, it was
I
actually
all over
really
again.
cool. Yeah.
Did I get the message on the CB radio show? Yes, I did, and we figured out what's wrong. So I called. So we haven't been able to use our CB radio since we got it, and so I posted in Trucker Safety Info. I'm like, help! What do we do? Well,
Yeah.
I contacted Grace, who used to have this truck before me. She said the coaxial cable is not hooked up. That
Oh,
I guess.
that worked. Yeah.
Yeah. So she said, in order to hook it up, it's going to be like $500. I'm like, we'll pass on that then for now, or we'll have to like buy antennas and then like directly hook the antennas to the CB. So
I was just gonna say that would be a cheaper option than probably redoing the
Yep.
built-in coax. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm like, oh, 'cause something about, I guess our boss had a tray put in here, and when he had the tray put in, they moved the coaxial cable and never rehooked it up to the CB radio. And it's a brand new CB radio too. So I'm like, great.
You're like, dang it.
I know. I could have used that the other night when I was stuck on the highway forever.
Right?
Oh my God. So do you guys have anything fun going on this week coming up?
Driving. Getting our butts to Minnesota and back so that we can go to the wedding.
Angela's like,
She's going to be hanging out in the pool. We're going to be living vicariously through her.
Yep.
And she's going to claim it is therapy. You know that, right?
You got vacation coming too.
Yep. I love it.
That's too funny. We've been trying to get ready to, because we're going to Las Vegas in a couple weeks, so we've been trying to get everything ready so we can go to Vegas. Oh, where did I go?
You're there.
Hey, Ange, I can't hear you quite as loud. Angela.
Can you hear me
Clark.
now?
No, I can
Angela.
hear you, Angie. Angela Clark. I can hear you, but you're soft. Is it, I wonder, I tried turning up my mic, but.
No, that's okay. How about now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see. So, Brooke, did you get some fun things earlier when you went shopping?
Yes, I did. We'll have that on another show.
Exactly. That'll be another show.
Let's see. Cindy said, how do you ladies get along with your husband if you're with him 24/7? Brooke, you want to take that one?
It's a come and go. I mean, luckily I love him, and he's my best friend. But I'm not gonna lie and say all the time peaches. But you just learn. You learn to adapt, and you learn to make it work. You're kind of stuck in a box, so you got to.
I know. Oh my gosh, the first couple of years we had the hardest time because we're both so stubborn and bullheaded.
Yeah,
And
me too.
yeah, so it's like that's the hardest thing. But the biggest thing is that when we get mad at each other, we have to give each other space because otherwise, it's just not going to work.
Right.
Yep. And Cindy, I don't have one of those things, so it's not a problem.
Yes.
So sometimes we're living vicariously through Ange.
There you
Yeah.
go.
But she's got a really good man. He's a sweetheart.
Yes. Yes,
He is a sweetheart, and he adores you.
Yes,
Hey,
it does.
Angela, Lorie said she's going to put wings on our trucks and come play in your pool.
Come on.
Let's see. Kathy said she went and got her hair cut today. I need to do that too.
Awesome.
That's one of those things, about every 6 weeks, if I get a chance.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So I was going to say, we're working on a show for next week, and so I wanted to bring it up in case anybody would like to join us. So we were going to tackle the topic of dealing with like depression on the road, being over the road, and then not being close to your family and friends and feeling like you're distant from them. So we are wanting to bring on a guest or two that has dealt with that, whether you are a truck driver or whether you are a trucking wife, because it affects trucking wives too, because they're at home taking care of the kids and the bills and the house while their husband's out on the road. So
Right.
if you are interested in being on the show, please contact one of us and we'll make sure that we get you on the show next week.
Yep.
Yes.
Dawn said pool party at Angela's.
Yes.
Bring it on, Dawn.
Let's see. Where do you live? I'll come to, said Cindy.
Florida.
She's like, I'm not telling
Florida.
Florida.
you. And Lorie said she needs to color her hair again too. Oh well. And we got somebody in here making rude comments, so we're not going to put those up.
Yeah, don't put those up.
No, not going to do it. Okay. So I'm going to bring on Melissa here, but before I do that, I want to show, if I can find the right graphics here, I want to show her book because we read her book and it was so good. So
Her
this is
book
Melissa.
is so good.
It is Mother Trucker because it's never too late. And here is her books and a hat. And you can get her book in paperback, hardback, or you can do ebook. You can get right on Amazon. That's what I did so I could read it. And it's super good. It's a quick read. I had it read in just a couple days. And it's got a lot of funny moments in it. So let me bring Melissa on here. Uh-oh. I don't think she has video yet. All right, let me message her. Yep, she popped. She'll be back in a second. I think she didn't. Oh, hold on. I see her now. Hold on.
There she is.
Melissa, you there?
There she is.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, ladies. I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
Doing good.
We're doing awesome.
Wonderful.
So I have my cheat here because I wrote down all my questions so I wouldn't forget any. But we want to talk. Let's see here. So Melissa, can you tell us a little? Oh, somebody's really blocking here. I'm trying.
You guys are rock.
Okay, is everybody frozen? Melissa?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you. Andy.
So it's Melissa. Yeah, it's Melissa. It's frozen. Okay. Let me try to message her and just tell her.
Maybe have her go out and come right back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes
Sorry,
that's all
guys.
it takes.
Sometimes it just takes a reboot.
Yeah.
Yep. We have that issue when we're live streaming with Truckers TV too. Sometimes
yeah.
Facebook just gets confused and all the lines of communication, and so you just got to bring it out, bring it back in.
Yep. And I absolutely hate when I have to kick somebody out of the studio because it doesn't give you the option to just delete them.
Yeah.
It's kick them out of the studio.
I know, it's rude.
I know, it's so rude.
Right?
Okay, we're trying this again. Let's see. Melissa, are you there?
I am here.
I can hear you
very clear.
now.
I can hear her now. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, hopefully I'll stay the whole show.
So, Melissa, I was going to say, one of the things I was just talking about before you got on the show was that you and I both had gotten our CDLs later in life and started into this whole trucking thing. And you had actually worked at a bank prior to this. Can you tell everybody just briefly, how you made the switch from working in the corporate world to deciding that you wanted to be a truck driver?
Yes, actually, my story was a little different than Sandy's. I actually had banker hours working as a property manager. But I had to rewind my story because when I went into trucking, I went in with a husband who convinced me to sell our business and go into trucking. And then as soon as we got into trucking, he hated every aspect of OTR. So he's living back in his home state. So me writing the story about Sandy, I wanted it to be about her experience, not dragging it into other things. So I took my experience of being a property manager for years and how I felt, and I morphed that into the character of Sandy. So those are real feelings. They were just, 5-6 years ago. So I took those feelings and created a character, and then me and my girls got together. We changed all names to protect the guilty, and all the stories are funny and true. And embarrassing, but that's what life is like on the road. So I knew what I wanted my book to be about. So
well, and that was one of the key things. I meant to get a picture of your granddaughter to put up here because you actually changed the name of your CDL school to reflect your granddaughter too, which I thought was adorable.
Yes.
And her picture so
Yes.
cute.
Yes.
Yes, that's my grandbaby, and oh my goodness, she's my life. So yeah,
Is that your first?
yes, it's my first, and she
Yeah.
is spoiled,
Awesome.
very, very spoiled. So yes,
Oh, she's so pretty. She's so pretty.
thank you.
Okay, let's. So I was going to ask you, what inspired you to write a book about becoming a truck driver?
I've always said I was going to write a book my entire life, and then the moment that I went to trucking school, I knew it. It was just like, oh my God, I'm putting this down on paper. And so actually, me going in with a husband, I did go through every aspect of safety.
No.
Oh, we lost her.
We lost her again. Yep. Oh, hold on. I think she's okay now. Are you back, Melissa? Can you hear us, Melissa?
Oh yeah, I think I'm back. Of
Okay.
all days
yeah,
for
I
my
can hear you.
internet to be wonky. Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yes.
It's happened to us
okay.
too, trust me.
Yep. Been there, done that.
Yes. Yes. What was the last thing you heard me talking about?
Well, we'll just start over. What inspired you to write a book about becoming a truck driver in your experience?
My experience, me going in late in life, I was in there in the trucking school with a bunch of young kids and a bunch of older men who have been through this many, many times. And I wanted to put it down on paper that, hey, it's never too late. So I wanted my experience to be out there for other women and hopefully just inspire people. You know what? Put your story down. You know, it's never too late to do anything. Write a book. Drive a truck. Even at 45 years old, there I was there sweating with all my pig sweat with all these young people and all these guys who have been doing it for decades. And I was doing it. So
That was one of the things that I found was so funny in the book that you.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Oh no! I think she froze. She was talking about how she always had a pig sweat all the time. It was pretty funny.
I loved every time she would refer to herself that way because I was thinking, yes, that's so me.
Yeah, I know. And I think she kept calling herself fat. I'm like, I get it. Well,
Yeah.
there you are.
yes. I am sorry. Of all places for my internet to be wonky is at home. So I apologize.
It happens to us
It's
all
okay.
the time.
Okay. So, Melissa, do you think that there will be more books, either about Sandy or just more books by you?
Oh no.
To
I know. This is like.
leave and try to come back. Well,
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay. Oh, darn it.
I hope so. I hope her answer is yes, because I'll tell you, as an author, I love her. Like, it's
I
so
know.
easy. Even though she created Sandy as a character, I was like so into her experience. Like, I was loving it. So I love how she writes. It's fun.
I know. The way she writes is so easy to read, and it's so funny, and you can relate to it so much.
Absolutely.
I
Let's
didn't go
see.
to truck driving school, so this was a livable experience for me, the way that she writes it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Melissa, you back, hon? Nope. I think she's frozen again.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Darn it. Well, we may have to talk about the book without her.
We met.
I know. It was such a good book. Darn it.
It is such a great book.
We've
I
all
think
been
that
there.
her
I hate that.
Her writing style, she's very talented, and I do hope that she will write more books, whether it's about this subject, about this characters, about whatever. It doesn't matter. I just like her writing style.
Me
Yeah.
too.
And I love the way she she's still frozen, darn it. Because I can see her down below where you guys can see her, and she's
you got her
still
backstage.
frozen. Yep. So I'm going to rudely kick her out and tell her to come back in again.
Dang it. I know. We've all been there, done that. I swear.
Oh,
Well,
I'm so
it's funny
sorry.
too because, we were just, the guys were playing with StreamYard and trying to get everybody in their chat earlier, and they were having the same struggles. So it's not just us. I'm
Yep.
grateful to know that.
No, and it's hard when you have too many people because then everybody starts talking over each other. But like us three, we've kind of got it down to a pat now. So
Yeah.
all right, we're just see. Are you there, Melissa? No.
No,
I
it's okay.
feel so bad.
Maybe we can schedule a phone interview with her
Yeah.
That might be a good idea.
that we could
Yeah.
play next week. If that would be another option, because I
Yes.
would really like to, hear some answers to these questions that we had come up with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't know about for you. So let me ask you guys this, ladies, while we're seeing if she can come back on. What was your favorite part about her book? Like, was there a part that you were like, oh my gosh, that's me?
Yeah. So my favorite part was she was scared about her whole experience in CDL school because she was short and she was fat, which
I
is
remember
me.
that.
Right?
I was actually thinking
Like,
of you, Angie.
I'm not going to pass the physical part. But then it was the drug part that she had the problem with because
Right.
she, like, the first time she went, she what was it? She couldn't go to the bathroom. Or no, she didn't pee enough. And so they said, okay, you've got.
Couldn't get her pants down.
Oh yeah, and she was sweating, couldn't get her pants down because she just got done doing the physical part. And so then she didn't have enough pee. So they said, okay, you've got 2 hours. We're giving you 40 ounces of water, and if you don't do it this time and produce enough pee, we have to kick you out of the program. And she's like, oh my god. So she drank, and then she went back, and again she didn't have enough. So it was like finally the third time she was able to do it. She's like, who would have thought that a drug test was the thing that could have knocked me out?
Right?
I was dying.
I laughed at that part because, and I can't believe I'm saying this on the show, but my very first drug test with airline, I missed the freaking cup. And I had to wait for 3 hours to refill it again.
No.
Oh my god.
Who does that? Johnny gave
I
me so
know.
much crap about that, and I was like, listen, I don't have a pointer.
A pointer.
I don't have a hose.
Exactly.
Oh, so I laughed at her experience.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna say this, Brooke. My most relatable part was the stomach issues. Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We do not eat the healthiest. Let's be honest.
No.
No.
And when you're going down the road at 65 plus miles an hour, there's not always a bathroom. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go from there.
Right?
That was a funny part when she got on the phone and because she made 5 fast friends in CDL school and they're still friends to this day.
Yeah.
And so the funniest part was when they were sharing poop stories about their horrors on the road. And every single one of them had a different, more horrific story.
Oh my gosh, that's the best
But
part.
they all
I'm like, what trucker can't relate to that? Because we've all
Right?
been in that situation.
You haven't been out here long enough if you don't have a poop story. I'm just going to say that.
That's right.
And the fact that she put it in print was like, I was dying. I was
Right?
just
My part that, for me, you guys, it's like in the first or second chapter where she named the hamster in her head.
yeah.
Herbie.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've got Herbie's twin sister. And so that's the part for me that I was like, oh, yay! I know that girl.
Yeah. Oh my, it was so, okay. Dawn just put Larry loves poop stories. Dawn is like his biggest fan, Larry.
And I saw BK's comment on there about, thank goodness we've got buckets.
I know.
Yeah.
And we talked about doing a show about that because it's like an embarrassing subject, but hey, it's realistic. It happens.
Trucking. I mean,
Oh my gosh. That was
so
so funny.
funny.
But
What
seriously,
happens in the truck doesn't stay in the truck. It goes to the trash
That's
can.
right, Mary.
that's my husband for you.
Oh gosh.
Okay, she's trying to come back in. Hold on, let me see if Hey, Melissa, you there, hon?
Yeah, let's talk about pig sweat. I was on the ground moving my Wi-Fi router. I fell over. You don't want to see my living room floor at the moment. But I'm here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping you can hear me now.
We can hear you loud and clear. It's great.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Okay.
that was so funny. We were
That's
just
the
talking
best.
about your drug test issue and
Oh,
how you're so sweaty and couldn't get your pants down.
yeah, everything stuck at the wrong moment. Yeah. Um, and I didn't add to Sandy's story because she did not have a husband giving her stank eye from across the room. Like, really? Of all times? Really? And so I'm trying to ignore his stare like the entire time. But I put everything in there for Sandy. So, yes, everything
you go.
stuck.
Funny.
Everything was claustrophobic. And it was like, really? Of all times, you can't do nothing? What? So, yeah. Yeah. That definitely had to make it to paper. So, yes.
We were laughing about how when you were talking to your girlfriends that you met through CDL school and you guys were all sharing your poop horror stories and we're like,
Mhm.
oh, we can relate to
can
that.
relate.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was what's so wrong is like I had that. It was so embarrassing of all places for mine to happen. And it was like months later when I finally said something to one of the girls and they're like, oh, you had one too? Oh yeah, we had one. Why don't you call
Oh
so
my
and so? And it was like, oh my God. So yeah. Yeah. So everybody had one. So yeah.
Everybody
yeah.
had a good question. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes.
That's the best ever.
We left off, Melissa, with my question, which was, do you think that you will write another book in the future, whether it's about Sandy or something else? Do you think that there will be another
Okay.
book?
I've already started actually book 2. Actually, I'm working on the screenplay for this book. And can't you see Melissa McCarthy playing my part, yelling "Mother
Yes!
Trucker" going down the
Yes!
road? So yes, yeah,
That
we've
was
already picked a dream
fabulous.
cast of Rebel Wilson and Wanda
Right?
Sykes. Yeah, so yes. If anybody's watching it, absolutely. But yes,
Right?
I'm
It's like
writing.
a trucker's version of Bridesmaids. I totally can see
Exactly.
that happening.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We were talking about it. We're like, it's like Smokey and the Bandits, versus, combined with Bridesmaids. So yes. But
Perfect.
I am writing book 2. It's called Oh, It's On, Mother Trucker. So yes, I've already started that
I
one.
love
So
that.
yeah, I ended
Love
the
that
book.
title.
Yeah, I ended the book, the first book, with her thinking about training, which I actually did go on to be a certified CDL instructor. So, yeah, it's going to be about Sandy, but there's probably going to be a lot more. I've got a friend who has probably 4 decades of experience on me, and he was one of the first to train females in the industry. So,
Oh.
yeah, so it's going to be a lot of Sandy and her horror stories. Yeah, I had a pansexual pescatarian student who, yeah. I had to look up every word she threw at me. So yeah, and she stood about 4'8", and half of her hair was purple and half was green, and she was from Baltimore. So it was like, is the attitude from shortness or Baltimore? So yeah, yeah. So she's going to have a whole chapter to herself. So yeah, and then the very best student, her name was Mika, and she's going to have a whole chapter called "Stupid Shit That Mika Says." So yeah, we're going to go there. So
Nice.
yeah, so yeah, this one's going to be funny. So
I totally
Oh,
could see
awesome.
Melissa McCartney playing you, seriously.
yes,
Right?
yes.
Right.
Yeah, and that would be absolutely wonderful. But yeah, let me tell you a quick Mika story before we go on. We went to
Yeah.
Protein Solutions down in Joplin. I don't know if y'all went there, the chicken nugget factory, and boy, the stink comes off of it. You could smell it miles away. She had no
So
poker
bad.
face, and I didn't tell her what the smell was before we went in. And I said, "Okay, you're at a chicken nugget factory." Her first words, without thinking about it, "Do chicken tender factories smell the same way?"
Oh my gosh. Oh, how
So yeah,
funny.
that was the beginning of, oh my God. So we are still dear friends to this day, but she is so funny. So yeah,
That's
yes,
funny.
yes.
Let's see.
So, my question is, so through your experience, and we could just like think of the time frame for your first book, maybe. What was your toughest obstacle during that time period?
My toughest obstacle, it was praying that I didn't crush my trainer on the top bunk like Step Brothers, with Bobby. Yeah, that was my first thing. So, but once I got past that and I was able to breathe and then I was able to sleep and she was fine and, we made it the next day, she was still alive. My biggest fear was just giving up everything and then hoping that I didn't have a wreck, number one, or have some kind of infraction that would end my career so early. So that was a big fear. And it's still to this day, you never know. I call the CDL the golden ticket. And it's like it's like Willy Wonka, you are holding that ticket. And so when I trained the short period of time that I did, it was you have a golden ticket in your hand and you treasure that and you guard it and you make sure you do everything right. So yes.
Yeah.
And I love
Yes.
that you kind of touched on that because it is. When you think
Mhm.
about it, it is so difficult to get your CDL. And if you
Mhm.
do something that takes it away, it changes your life for sure.
Yes, and I see, all of us have seen way too much tragedy in an instant
Yes.
on the road, and
Yep.
the one I'll call her the student from hell, because I haven't even named her in the book, so I'm gonna change names on the guilty on that one. But
Right,
her
right,
biggest
right.
thing was her wifey were wanting to what gaming systems they were going to have on their truck, and she wanted a pet duck of all things, a ratchet pet duck. You heard it first, ladies. I've never heard of a ratchet duck on a truck, but hey, guess what? This girl wanted it. And so that's all she cared about. And it's like she ended up bending a little piece of metal at a store or at a Love's, and oh, it just turned me upside down. And it was like, you don't know. This isn't a plaything. You're going to be on the road one day, and you're going to come up over a hill, and there's going to be a car with car seats in it. Are you going off the cliff, or are you going into the lake? You do. So it turns serious really fast, but that's what happens on the
Right.
road. So yeah,
Right.
I mean that's
It
one
does.
thing.
You're right.
Yeah. So I mean we're all fun and games, and we all have funny stories. I know this, but in the end, we still have an 80,000 pound, bomb underneath us. I mean, at any
Yeah.
minute, it could just, we could take out anything. So I mean that's the important part of it. I wrote a funny book, but I wanted also to put it in there that we are doing, I mean, we're moving, America's produce across the country. That's what we do.
Right.
I mean, we are the backbone of America. So,
Absolutely.
Hey,
mhm.
Melissa, one of our viewers had a question for you. She said, Melissa, are you going to put your book out in truck stops?
Right now, I'm as a me self-publishing. This is all new. I thought writing a book was hard until I got to the marketing part and to the publishing part. So I'm probably going to look at that. I'm going to look at different places. And so this is the beginning. I really appreciate you women inviting me on your show for the first time. I've got a couple other groups. My company that I work for, they have a YouTube radio station. I've been invited to one with
Awesome.
a Sirius radio Saturday show. So
Oh, how
eventually,
cool.
yes. So, and I
I'm
want to
gonna.
get some. Mhm.
I was gonna say I'm gonna send you some information too, because I'm gonna try and get you on a radio show with some friends of mine too. They have a
Okay,
trucker radio show, so I'm gonna try and hook you up there too.
absolutely wonderful. You ladies are just like the bomb. I'm telling you.
We try.
Yeah, you're doing a
Touched on-
fabulous job at it.
You touched on it a little bit about you thought how it was going to be so hard. So, for someone who has a passion for writing, how do they get started writing a book?
Well, the biggest thing is, okay, you want to write down everything that comes to your mind. I don't care. I've got notebooks after notebooks with crazy scribbles here and there. What you want to do is when you get to the point when you think, you know what, I'm ready, then what you get online, you research. You research all the companies. Yes, there's all these publishing companies, and you can get an agent. That's really hard to do. So if you want to go through that path, wonderful. But then you're going to have to learn to do the letters and do all the other stuff, which at some point in my life when I slow down, I plan on doing that. But until
Right.
then, it's good to go ahead and research companies. I settled with Author House Publishing Company, and it's after I decided what I wanted. I wanted to make sure I had a U.S. copyright. I wanted to make sure that I had a control number in the Library of Congress. And
That's a good
so
one.
I wanted to make sure it was in not only e-format, I wanted my hands on my book, and so I wanted something that, I could sit there and say, this is mine,
Right.
and just having friends and family and everybody like, I want a signed copy. That makes you feel good. But then at nighttime when you lay down, your book's laying right there and you're like, this is mine. So this
I
was
get
my
that.
dream. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so I know several people that they only write in digital format, which is great. If that's what you want to do and you want to get it out to the masses, that's perfect. Does it cost a lot of money? Yeah. I mean, people are going on vacation. I'm writing a book. So, it's your priorities of what you want to spend your money on. In hindsight, my next book, I probably won't spend as much, but I know what I want to spend my money on. So
Yeah.
the biggest thing is finding that company that clicks with you. I found a company that clicked. I found a publishing consultant. Her name was Virginia Morel. Perfect. We just clicked, and she knew what my vision was, and we went, we ran with it. And she stood by my side until I said, okay, I got the money, let's do this. And so it's the last 6 months has just been it feels like a time warp. So yes.
So I was going to say, so in your book, you talk, and we're very similar in this, but you talk about how you keep a journal of everything you're seeing on the road and everything that you're going through. So in your journaling and in your CDO school process and all your training, what's like the best memory you have from going through all that?
Well, as far as the whole process, the very biggest thing that sticks out in my mind, I was about a week into trucking, and I was driving. I started about, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning. No, I'll take that back. I was about 2:30 in the morning, and I was in Wyoming heading east, and I hit Green River about the time the sun come up. And right then, it was just one of those moments, that's just like etched in your mind. Yes. And you hear the angels sing, when you're like Morgan Freeman, this is, and it was just so memorable. It was like, yeah, I was meant to do this. So yes,
That's awesome.
That one. And then, the wind turbines in the West, how beautiful they are. And then it's like, oh, I've never seen them that big, And then the first night that all of a sudden I seen that row of red lights. It was like, oh my God, is this an alien ship? It freaked me out so bad. Like, oh my God, what is this? I mean, I felt like an idiot the next morning when I was like, oh, it's just wind turbines, but it was it was magical at nighttime, So those two things are just like, and it has to do, it's like, this is God's creation, Okay, maybe not the wind turbines isn't God's creation, but, everything else was, so.
Well, he's creating the wind, so, I mean,
Yes, exactly, yes.
Also, we got another question for you. It was, how long on average did it take you to write this book?
That's a good question.
Okay, it took me on average about 8 months to complete it. I am currently off work with my third arm injury in 2 years. So my heart and soul's on the road. My body's like, now you can tell you what, let's look at this. So during my second injury, I had shoulder surgery, and I had already started the book. And, I'd started it once when I was still married, and it was going to be about me and the hubby and the 2 dogs and kind of what Lorie does, cooks on the truck and does all that stuff. And then he up and quits. And then, I just had to pull up my big girl panties and start over, And so it was like, okay, let's see what we need to do. And so I had a little bit of it done, and then I hurt myself. And it's like, when you're home and you're jacked up, it was a good time to finish writing my book. So
yeah. I mean, it's sad that it happened, but on the other hand, it gave you the opportunity to finish this book. I'm so glad that you did.
Yes.
Me too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have a question. And as I read through your book, Missy, I got a lot of inspiration from things that you talked about, and so I'm curious what your answer to this would be. What do you think that women bring to this industry specifically that men don't, that they can't?
Okay, men have been doing this for decades. I mean, this is a man's job, or it's looked at as a man's job. But okay, there's women out here that are not patient, but you know what? Even if you're not a mother, most of the time, we've been there. We're the ones who are patient. We're the ones who analyze things. We don't say, here, hold my beer, Right. I mean, 9 times out of 10, when you go and pass the wreck, and nothing against the male population, because we love you guys, we really do. But, it's like, okay, I don't have road rage. I can sit in LA traffic. I had my male counterparts tell me, oh, you're going to see things in cars that you'll never unsee. All I see is people on cell phones, and I just want to, take a bean shooter and pop them in the head and be like, look at the road, fool, And so I feel like we're more insightful. I've had male trainers say they've trained females, and they say they listen. We're not trying to one-up our trainer and make it, And so I feel like, I feel like we're not competition each other, and I think for the most part, we lift each other up. I'm on so many groups that we are wonderful women, and so that's what we do. It's like, you guys reached out to me as soon as I launched my book, and it was like, these are my people, And so, and so when I see women and for the most part, I mean, sometimes we wake up and we look like, oh, don't mess with us because, our face is like we haven't had coffee, don't talk to us. I know the look. So I will not make eye contact. Trust me, I'll just give you the wave and nod the head. But if it's somebody over there scrubbing the ground, it's like, hey girl, how you? And it's that I feel like it's that, united friendship that everybody has,
Yes.
And I felt this, I mean, I've so many times they're like, oh, another girl. And so it makes me feel like, okay, well, I'm not the weirdo, so it's somebody else too. So
I love that.
Yes,
Great answer.
So,
Great answer.
yes.
Oh my gosh. So what advice would you have for a new driver just starting out in CDL school or maybe interested in going into the trucking field, a female?
The biggest thing is looking at whatever school you're wanting to go to, look at the statistics. Make sure that you're going to have somebody that's going to be able to, if they can offer one-on-one. Do they have female trainers? So you need to get out there and do your research on your company that you're looking for individually. And don't be afraid to look at 4 or 5 companies and talk to 4 or 5 different recruiters. Just don't pigeonhole yourself on just one company. As soon as you get it, you're like, oh, this is great. You might find something that's better, but you might go back to that first company and say, hey, this is a great school. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had one more question, and I know that, some women have had issues, some women haven't. Have you had any issues? Because we do work in a male-dominated field. Have you had any issues being out on the road with men? Or for the most part, have you found that men are, pretty supportive and pretty good out there on the road?
99% of the men on the road are absolutely wonderful. They're very supportive. They're like, if you're at a tight dock, they'll jump out. Hey, do you need help? They'll spot you. And so 99% of the time, yes. Now I did write about one that was down in Florida, the super trucker with the, fingerless gloves and him screwing up, everything, yeah. That was probably the funniest thing because it was just like out of the blue, like, you talking to me? Because it was like I was minding my own business, doing my thing. And it was just like, really? And so, so that was a really bad one. And then I had one incident up in Kentucky one morning. And of course, I left my phone in the truck. It was one of these times I was all alone. And so I had this guy come over and he pretty much told me he was going to get in my truck and sleep with me. And it was just like, are you kidding me? And I ended up calling the company. And it was just like, I was more mad at myself for the way I handled it. I just wanted to get away from him. And it's not like, I could I gouge him. I didn't have anything within arm's reach, And so, the threat is real. The threat's real. And so you've got to, protect yourself. You've got to have your eyes open at all times. And I mean, as women, especially, I mean, I know, which one does not have the, that runs solo? That's, okay. So, so Angela runs solo, right? So, what it's like. And so at nighttime, I would prefer a quiet rest stop, shut the curtains. I've got the dogs and, I invested in puppy pads just because I don't get out at nighttime. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, my dogs are little. Puppy pads are nice. I'm sure if you had, a horse of a dog, puppy pads are not going to do anything. So, but you just make your life what you need it to be on the road. So
we got a couple questions for you. One of them is, what author, if any, inspired you to become a writer?
Oh, what author? I started off reading romance novels of all things, if you can believe that. And it was just like, so, Danielle Steele was probably the very first writer that I just absolutely loved her books. And that was probably middle school. And so I read just a little bit of everybody. My dad's trying to get me into more of kind of mystery-based books right now. And so I read a little bit of everything, and this might sound cheap on my part, but you are who you are. But I'll get on Kindle and go to the free section and be like, oh, let's read about EMPs, And so, especially when I'm on the road, or I'll go to a truck stop. Now, my company now, they're so high tech, they don't even have CD players in their truck. And I used to do books on CD, like when I'd go out west and my internet be wonky. And so now it's like I have all these books that are just the weirdest books ever. Like, okay, we're going to read these books at some point. So, I think, I've been thinking, I've wanted to, write for years. I used to say I was going to write a book called My Disastrous Love Life and Other Funny Stories, but that one we might have to wait till retirement. So yes. Yes.
We got another question from Chad. He said, "Do you recommend going through a company school or an independent school?"
Okay, there's two different things. One, do you have the money to go to an independent school? Independent schools, I think, are more hands-on per individual, and I feel like the company that you go to, if you go to a company, which I did, you're offering a year of your life essentially. You stay with us for a year, it's going to pay off. Leaps and bounds, I love the fact that I went to a company that had a high diversity of women, and I felt like, I don't say catered, but I feel like they did. We had so many women, and that's one thing when I went to my new company. They absolutely love all their employees, but I don't see as many women. But they are just a fantastic company to work for. So it just depends. Do you have that money to put down for that trucking school that's local, and then that way you can go do it, and you feel like you're going to get more one-on-one education or the training, right then and there. So that was the biggest thing for that. I made the decision. So
we've got another one from Dallas, and he said, "If you could go into trucking earlier than you did, would you have?"
My situation, absolutely not. I had children, and what we decided, and I say we, it was me and the ex. My last one, I homeschooled her from 7th grade till she graduated. And so we had said, oh, we're at the point where she's graduating, let's do something. And so props to all them single moms out there with kids. I don't know how you do it. It's so hard.
Yes.
And so me going in at 45, I just wish my body was at the same place my mind and my heart was at,
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
So
and it's like, I've got fibromyalgia that I've had for probably 10 years, and I've got osteoarthritis, and it's like, we women, we push through it, and sometimes we make, I don't say stupid mistakes, but we're stubborn, and we don't say, okay, and so this is where my company, I hurt my arm in January, actually right before Christmas, and I got off the road in January, and so they have me working at a nonprofit, so that's an absolutely wonderful thing, because I can't use my arm, but I can't say I wish that, because my kids were priority, and I'm glad that I got them to adulthood without killing them or B eating them. There's some species out there that eat their young. I always make sure that they know that. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Okay, we got another question for you, and it was along what we were just talking about, and it was, if you could go back on the road, would you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If my body says so, right now my body's saying no, and I'm torn, because it's like, oh, I want to go on the road, and then I get up, and then my calf muscles are snapping like, oh, you think you're going somewhere? No, you're not going to go. So given a physical rejuvenation instantly overnight, absolutely. But right now I am just so thankful that the time that I've had on the road, I was able to see and feel and do what women have been out there doing. So
yeah. We had another question. Let me find it. I'm sorry here. Let's see. It was, do you hide any secrets in your books that only a few people would be able to find? That's a good question.
That's a good one.
The biggest one is probably the poop chapter. That's something that I just don't go out there telling everybody. So yeah, that's only for the book and the few people who, I don't even know that my mother knows that story. So yeah, so I don't think she's got to that chapter yet. So sorry, Mom.
That's funny.
But just talking about all of the different things that I've seen, those are, I tell everybody about it, because they're probably like, oh my God, I hope she shuts up. But I've always put my pictures online, and I've always told my stories, and so I keep everything out there. But there's a few things you just don't put out there. Yeah, that's one of them. So,
right.
So.
Oh yeah.
So, Missy, what is your must-have on the truck? What is it that you can't live without?
Ooh, let's think about this. My must-have, first of all, is my dogs and my maps.
I love it.
And when I was a kid, maps were my thing. And that's one of my biggest eye-twitching moments. I felt like the poltergeist in my head would spin around when a student didn't know how to read a map or didn't know where states are, and they just follow a GPS. Let's go back to Mika for a minute. Mika, we went past Miami, Missouri. Or was it? Yeah, we were going past Miami, Missouri. First day out in the truck. Oh, we're going to Miami, Florida? Oh, no, we are not going to Miami,
Florida. Right?
We are 2 hours outside of Springfield. So yes. So my map, yeah, I'm probably a nerd. You know, when I went camping with the kids as a young, when they were young, we pull out the map and they tell me how to get to where we were going. So that was one of my favorite memories. So
Love
those are the
that.
two things. So
That's cool.
I can't read my question. What is wrong with me? I need to have my glasses on. I wrote all these questions. I can't read it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Okay, so trucking is a male-dominated field. What changes would you like to see maybe in the next 5 or 10 years to make it more friendly towards women?
Well, here's the thing. We are an untapped resource. There are plenty of women out there that I feel like can do this job. And I feel like most women are intimidated. I don't think I could drive a big truck. I don't think I could back that up. How in the world do you do it? And so
I've
I
heard
feel like
that.
a company can maybe gear more of their promotions towards women. Hey, you know, we've got this training. We've got female trainers. You know, we're going to give you the female perspective of what's out there. And so I feel like if more companies, I don't say cater. Cater sounds more like it's pigeonholed into just women, but
Right.
we are an untapped resource. I mean, we're only what 6% of drivers. That's not a whole lot, you know.
Right.
And there's a whole lot of women out there that I feel like they could do it. And then, you know, if there's companies that run regional, I think it'd be perfect for single moms, you know, where they can be home more, you know, or they could take their children and homeschool on the road. I know several women that do that and they've looked into fabulous jobs, but it's few and far in between.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my last question that I had written down was, what advice do you have for a new driver who's just starting out in school?
New driver starting out, keep studying, keep your head down. Make sure you soak everything up like a sponge. If you have a question, there's no stupid questions. Well, I mean, you might get a look from a guy, but hey, ask it anyway because you need to know. You know, you need to know about your tandems. You need to know about, you know, what's under the hood. You need to know those parts and you need to know when you're on the road. You know, when you pre-trip, that's just not a pretty word. You've got to get out there and check it every day. I have a friend who went through the same program, and I think she went through on her looks because a year after we got on the road, I was training a student and I was talking to her on the phone, and we were under the hood doing pre-trip stuff. And she's like, I forgot how to open my hood. And it's like, what?
Oh my.
You forgot how to open your hood? Like she didn't pre-trip nothing. Like her idea of pre-tripping is walking around the truck literally one time. So yeah, some things boggle my mind, and I probably don't have poker face, and I probably look like I probably shouldn't. So yeah. But the biggest thing is just keep studying before you go into school. Make sure you study. You know what your endorsements you're going for. Make sure you go ahead and get online. You know, there's plenty of apps that's going to help you with test questions. Don't go in not knowing anything. So if you're going to be in school, you know, don't make it a party. Make sure that you're there for that reason. You know, if you have to do computer-based training, make sure you're in there doing it. You know, the biggest thing is don't make it a joke because it's not. You know, this is a very important thing, and it's a very serious thing, but you have so much pride when you're done saying, I did this, you know, and like, you know, I wrote about me trifecting, you know, I passed it first, you know, on the first time. And that was such a big thing to me. Like I did that, you know, and so it makes you feel wonderful. And then it's like, you know, you can walk around like, oh yeah, that was me, you know, when the guys are like, did you do it? Heck yeah, I did that, you know? And so even to this day, I work at a nonprofit with all these little old people come up for lunch in the food bank. And I have another fellow driver. He went through the same program. We swap trucker stories all day long, and everybody's like, you drive a truck? Oh, heck yeah. And it's like, I have to make sure I have to wear my old shirt that says certified CDL instructor on it, you know, so everybody knows, because it's, you know, a lot of people are like, no, you didn't drive a big old truck. Yes, I did drive a big old truck. Here's my truck, you know, and so I show pictures. And so the biggest thing is making sure that, you know, going into that company, what's required of you, how long it's going to take, what you need to learn. So, you know, the biggest thing is making sure you're prepared when you go in and you're not just left like, oh my God, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah. So you're walking out feeling confident. The other thing I was going to say is if you do go to CDL school through a company, you know, make sure you know what you're signing, because a lot of those companies require a year of your life to pay them back and to work for them. And so many
Exactly.
people from CDO school, I don't think got that concept. They're like, yeah, it's like, you guys need to understand what you're writing.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to look. And like the company I went through, they had it where if you were a veteran, you only had to have a 9-month contract, but you had to get that contract. You had to get that contract changed to 9 months. If not, you're on the hook for a year. And you can't go, one day shy of a year. They're going to still charge you for that. And so a lot of people just plan on saying, let's say they got a buddy that has a small company. Oh, go get your CDL and then break that contract and come work for me, and so but they're still on the hook for that amount, for the amount of schooling, and it's a big amount, and those companies can go after you if you do not fulfill your end of the bargain.
We got another question from Dawn, and she said, how do you select the names of the characters in your book?
Okay, for the most part, I let everybody pick their own names. So I'd be going up, so if you were in a book, what would your name be? And so it's just this funny thing, and I'd write it down, and a couple of people are like, who's that? I'm like, that's you. Oh, it's me? Yeah, you're the one who picked the name. But all the main characters, we picked names. Now, my name, I'm a Melissa McCarthy fan, so for all you out there who know, Identity Thief, have y'all watched that one?
Sandy, I love it.
So, yes.
I love it. That's how you picked it.
Yeah, that's how I picked my name. So
that's way funny.
Yes.
That's
I was going to say, somebody posted, and I thought this was really good. And I'm so sorry if I butcher your name. I think it's Joanna, but it said, I bought a remote semi-truck to help me learn how to back. That's just genius, because backing's like one of the hardest things to learn.
That is absolutely genius.
Steering wheel.
Yes. And actually, we did. What's so funny is we had one that it was like, they had it in the school at nighttime, and when we had such a big training pad that had like 12 or 13 different backing up sections, and so when bad weather would come in, it's like we couldn't be standing out there with all them metal trucks, and so we'd be inside, and we actually had a truck, and it was like, oh, this is cool, let's go play with this big truck, but it helps you with your your points when you're turning, if you're doing an offset, if you're doing a parallel. And so actually, that is actually a really good thing. That's a really good thing to work with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Let's see.
And I was just going to tap in there that, you kind of answered my last question with your last answer. But if you had, any advice to give people men or women who are going to trucking school or wanting to, what is the personal trait or characteristic that they have to have, or that they have to leave at home? What is it that you think is necessary for them to be successful?
Okay, you can't go into school being a know-it-all. You can't say, somebody's going to tell you to do something. Oh, well, my buddy Jim told me. Well, your buddy Jim's not standing there driving that truck for you. You've got to take yourself down a couple of pegs. You've got to be willing to learn. And when you're being trained by somebody, those people know what they're doing. And school that I went to, they, after almost a year, as long as you had so many miles, you didn't have any infractions, you went through DOT inspections just fine, you'd qualify to be a trainer. And I didn't feel like I could be in a truck with somebody for 50,000 miles, but I always loved to teach, and I always loved to do the training. And so I went through saying, oh, I can help somebody learn how to do the front part, because I got stuck in a school, a night school program, because there wasn't enough female trainers. And I didn't want to go out with male. And that's no offense to a male, but they've been doing this for years. We haven't.
Right.
And so me getting, and so when I went out, once we went through the school and I got my CDL and trifected it, and then I got me a female trainer, that's exactly what I wanted. She showed me, okay, this is how it is on the road. She was the one with the solo cups, the styrofoam cups, we had a big stack of them up in the, and that was her, her go-to thing, but you're wanting to go into something where you have to be open to that knowledge. You can't go in being a know-it-all. You can't be impatient, you can't rush things. And I think there's a lot of people out there, like, after 2 weeks, they're like, oh, I got this, watch this. And you can't be like that. You really have to, you have to be willing to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great answer.
We've got one more question for you from Dallas. What was the worst experience you had over the road?
Dallas, that's my daughter. Hey, honey, how are you doing?
Hi,
that's Lorie's mama. The worst experience experience was probably the one up in Kentucky. And of course, I didn't want that to be in the book. That's kind of really a personal thing. So that was probably the worst thing that happened. But as far as the worst part of the road would be when you come up on a wreck. And the biggest thing, it just punches you in the gut. Did the person make it out? Even now, me being off the road, I get tagged in everything. Oh, Melissa, look at this. Especially I'm right off I-40 in Tennessee. As soon as anything happens within a 50-mile radius, I'm being tagged. Or my friends are calling me, hey, we thought about you. And so the biggest thing, it's so sobering. I just absolutely love it out there until I come up on something like that. And, the biggest thing is it's always, it's the driver's fault. Even if it's not, and it's like, did they get cut off? Did they blow a steer tire? Did something happen, other than just being, they're probably on their phone making a YouTube video,
Exactly.
and so a lot of things, they can go wrong in a split second, and so that's the worst thing for me is seeing that. And even still right now being off the road, it just hurts me.
We had a comment here from Cindy. Brooke and I know Cindy, and I just wanted to, she said, I love you ladies and thank you for showing us ladies in the truck driving, but I'm a mom truck driver. I have a son who's a truck driver, and I love watching you ladies. It feels so good. So I just wanted to share that with you.
That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. And I love hearing even from, just wives and then moms of truck drivers and grandmas of truck drivers and then even women that have been through it, since the 70s, and you're like, well, hats off to you, because it wasn't like this, back in the day,
Right.
And when I say you had to be tough, you had to be tough. And I'm not saying we're not tough now, but we could be cute and tough now. Back then, I have a friend, she's in heels every single day on the truck, training in heels, and it's like, how in the world? Yeah, she's looking cute doing it. I think I'm cute on the truck. Oh no, she's cute on the truck. Back in the day, no, I can't see women doing that. And so hats off to every woman who's a dispatcher, who's in, in sales, who's, behind the
part
computer,
of the industry.
any part of it, in the maintenance department. And so we're
Welders,
all one,
mechanics, absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
The ones that get your truck right back on the road, and
That's
so
right.
we're not no different, we just happen to be the one carrying it from point A to point B. But logistics is a big old ball of So I mean, it goes everywhere.
Right.
So
I got Dawn wanted to know approximately how many hours a day did you write to finish your book?
to finish my book, I was writing between 6 and 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was funny because I am left-handed, and I first hurt my bicep. They misdiagnosed it, told me I ripped it at the elbow. So I did a few weeks of PT, went back on the road. 6 months later, I was in a blizzard in Iowa at a Tyson plant, and your trailer's this high, and here's your truck. It won. I did it. My arm, I blew my shoulder. Went to the MRI with contrast, and they found out that my bicep retracted in the summertime from my shoulder, and so that was my first 2 injuries. So I was off for quite a while with that one, and so now I've torn. And so I spent a lot of time writing, and a lot of people say write 1,000 words a day. A lot of writers do that, and that is a good thing. If you're going to write, pick it up, write. It just depends on if you're on a truck. You make sure you got a 34-hour at the end of your week. If you're running hard, try to get some writing in then. If you have a 10-hour break, get in there and write 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
And so that's what I did initially. I'd write just a little bit at a time. And then I left it because I had to change my story up completely, take the genre to a fiction level, which I feel like everything in it is true, but the timeline's screwed, and I didn't want it to be about, I didn't want it to be on my personal story. I wanted Sandy to have a different personal story that other women could relate to.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Well, I wanted to let everybody know that you can get her book on Amazon. You can, if you do ebooks, you can get it on Amazon. You can also go to Truckers Safety Diva, Truckers Safety Divas on Facebook. We have the link right to her page where you can actually buy the physical book. It's in soft cover, hardcover, and ebook. So it's super good book. I can't recommend it enough. We all loved it. I even read it to my husband.
Yes.
So he knows a lot.
I did too.
Well, I appreciate it, ladies. And I've had so many people ask for a signed copy, which if somebody wants to do that, all I recommend, PM me, and I could do Google Pay, I could do PayPal, and I order books, and then it's only costs I think it's like $2.89 to send it immediate. It's slow mail. Hey, that's fine with me, but I can actually sign it and send it off to you. So if anybody wants that, just get with me, and thank you.
Wonderful.
I appreciate
Right?
that. Yeah, so just send me a PM and we can get it started. I don't know if you can see behind me my big old stack of books that I've already bought.
Yes.
So yes, they came in. I felt so good. It was just like,
Woohoo!
oh, my book. How are you doing? Yeah. So I
Congratulations.
got plenty that's
Oh,
ready
you've
to go
gotta be-
out. So
You've got to be so proud. He's like, this is my baby.
I'm proud of you. We've
I am.
only been friends for like a week, but I am so
Yeah.
proud of you for
Well,
hitting
thank
that
you.
mile marker. That's
Yeah,
I know.
awesome.
It's living vicariously through you. It's like, we wish
Yes.
we could do that.
yeah. Well, you know what? It's never too late. So, get out there. I mean, write it down. And, even if you just do e-format, hey, you got it out there and you've got your story. So somebody can say, one day they'll be like, oh, I know Angie, or I know Brooke, or Angela. You know what?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I know their story. And so it just feels good knowing that, So
Absolutely.
Awesome.
mhm.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us, Melissa. You're a sweetheart, and I do want to sign a copy of your book, so I will get with you after the show, and I
Okay.
will get in touch with you about that radio show I was talking to you about too, so I can get to that
Absolutely.
information.
Thank you so much. I can never say thank you enough. You women are wonderful, and I love your show.
We're gonna
Well,
have you
thank you
back.
so much.
We've already
You'll be back.
decided that
That's
we
right.
love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, y'all.
You take care. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Okay. Thanks, ladies. Bye.
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 Oh my God, she was so funny.
You know what? I
But
love
she's
her.
Great.
She is a natural diva. She is a natural addition to the show. I love her.
I,
I love it.
she reminded me of Melissa McCartney so
Yeah, so
much.
much. Yeah.
And her name's Melissa. Oh my God.
McCarthy.
I do
Oh
too.
my God. Brian said thank you, Melissa. So
Yeah.
Lorie has been patiently waiting backstage for about 10 minutes because we ran a little bit longer. So we're gonna bring Lorie in. She is not a truck driver, but we just added her this week as part of our divas, and she's gonna be my right hand woman, my administrative assistant. And we're actually gonna be working on a Christmas cookbook on things you can cook in your truck. So we're really
Nice.
excited about that. But Lorie's
Cool.
going to come on here. She's going to talk to us about her cooking on her truck and maybe some tips and tricks we can learn. So let me get Lorie on here. Hey, girl, how
There
are
she
you?
is.
Hey everyone, how are you guys? You guys hear me okay?
Yep, we can see you good.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't have makeup on or anything, but I'm here.
You're still beautiful. It's okay.
It's okay. We've all been there and done
Absolutely
that.
beautiful.
Pig sweat.
So I was going to ask you, I know that you guys cook on the truck like almost nightly, although tonight you didn't and your taco salad looked amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
That's like my
it
favorite place. You went to Black Bear. I love that place.
That darn thing, I didn't even make a dent in it. It's still in the fridge. There's two big, huge things. I'm like, oh my, that's too much food.
They have the biggest salads I've ever seen at any place. They're so good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I saw-
You know, if it was gonna be that big, we would have got one to share.
Oh, so you guys usually cook every night or most nights on the truck. What appliances do you keep on your truck that you use?
Well, my most favorite. Here, let me see if I can get the camera turned. Now, don't mind you, of course, our truck is a lot smaller than your guys's.
Hey, I used to have a truck just like yours.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Oh, I gotta switch it. Hold on. I don't think I can. Okay. Well, we'll do it that way then.
That's our favorite. And that's a 3-in-1, you know.
Oh, awesome.
You can do anything in that. I mean, like anything. Anything you cook at home, you can cook on the truck. With that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm still learning to use mine. I have mine, and I've only like cooked crescent rolls in it, and cinnamon rolls and popcorn. That's it. I'm like too scared to really. So Lorie's been putting up recipes. Like I have a meatloaf that I'm making right after this show. So I'm doing your meatloaf recipe right after the show.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
We also have The Instant Pot.
Yeah, we have our Instapot, we have a Keurig, we have our single. It's dirty, sorry, but our single burner.
Oh, the burner. Right.
Yep.
We use all that, but of course our truck is smaller, so comes to storage. We have to really figure out what to put.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maximize it. Yeah. Now, do you guys like try to buy your food in bulk, or do you guys like make several trips throughout the week at Walmart or whatever?
We usually don't do once a week at Walmart, and we buy. How do you want to say that? We try to buy for about 2 weeks worth. So we go like 2 weeks and we'll stop and then buy food and then we'll go again and do it again. It just depends on where we can get this beast into,
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
trying to park this thing at a grocery store can be really difficult. Y'all know that.
Yes.
Oh yes. We have a question for you, Lorie. Dawn wants to know, what kind of truck are you in?
We are. Yep, we're in an international. But of course, he's a company driver, so we work for Warner.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what is
Sorry.
what
Excuse
is
me.
like? Oh, you're fine. What is your tips or tricks, maybe for somebody who's interested in possibly cooking on the road, but maybe they're nervous about all it
Intimidated.
entails? Yeah, intimidated. Exactly.
Well, since it's so small and we don't have a lot of space to move around, we do teamwork. I'll tell him what spices to use, why he's like working on one part of the dish, and I can be working on another part of the dish.
Oh, wow.
Because he'll sit over there where the fridge is, and I'll sit here on the bed, and we'll be doing two different things or something. So that's how we do it. It's more of the teamwork effort to get our dinners done.
That's cool.
Absolutely. Okay,
It
so
works out.
Carolyn said there's enough room on the truck for 2 weeks of food. Do you have a freezer?
We do.
I thought you did. Yeah.
Yeah, we have one of those. It's not.
Also a gland.
It's a Glands also, and it's got
Okay.
the little fridge and freezer. We can stuff, I don't know what, maybe 4 or 5 meats in there.
Yeah.
About 4 or
Oh,
5 meats,
awesome.
Oh, that's
It's not
cool.
bad.
Awesome.
Cool.
But
I need to get one of those.
it sits between our seats. So to get
Okay.
out, I have to climb up and over the fridge, and
Yeah.
it's an obstacle.
Yeah.
We have another question. Do you pre-cut your veggies when you buy them?
No,
No, but that's
No.
a great idea. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
I have a
I don't-
cutting board and a chef knife that sits behind my seat, and I cut them as I need them.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
that's what
We have a big. I mean, it's like, I don't know how you can't put it in, but it's pretty big. So it's
Yeah.
a big cutting
Awesome.
board. We have really good knives on the truck. We have I don't know, all the comforts at home as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. We've got plastic plates, plastic boards, but then I've also got the disposable stuff and my disposable silverware. I've got
Yeah.
every spice you can have, so it's like I try to keep anything that we keep at home, I try to keep here, but in smaller quantities.
I don't know if
Oh,
y'all can see it. They collapse. Look at this. This
Oh,
is
no
what
way.
we use. They collapse
Oh, that's
down, they
cool.
fold down, they're easier on the truck, less storage.
Awesome.
Guys, where did you get
Uh,
those at? Those are cool.
You got,
Iowa 80.
you got a spoon,
Iowa
a
80.
knife,
Love
and you
that.
got your fork.
That's very
That's cool.
cool.
And then, of course, we use the dollar store plates from Walmart. We'll go there and get those plates.
I do too.
So
They
do
get
I.
worked in the microwave.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
We have
cheaper.
Uh-huh. I'm the same way. I buy the cheap plates, for eating in here, or I use the disposable ones. But yeah. Cindy wants to know, when cooking in the truck, how do you do dishes? Do you go inside the building and clean your dishes?
Yes,
Yes,
we
I
sure do. We put them in a bag, take them into the bathroom, we wash our dishes in the sink, and then dry them and put them back out here.
Yeah.
That's what I do too. I've got to take my
We do
Instapot
too.
in when I get a shower.
Yep.
And the
That's what I do when I go in with a
is
shower.
Spray,
The spray
the
soap.
spray dish soap.
Yes, the spray dish
Yeah,
soap.
the
Oh my
spray.
gosh,
That's-
yes.
I
I
love
do
that.
too. I used it,
Yeah.
was it Dawn Power Wash? I had to look at it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
You know, it's nice to being able to cook and have everything, but it's, you know, you still can't do everything like at home.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing, I guess, sometimes. And it gets
What's your?
lonely.
Oh yeah. Trust me, we're talking about that next week about how the road gets so lonely, whether you're a team
Yes.
driver or
Or
solo.
not. That's right.
No. Yes. Dawn says, I take Grease out of your way because her name's Dawn.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Dawn, you're too cute.
I love Dawn so much. This girl, last night we were on and she was 2.5 hours of dental jokes because she works in a dental office.
Okay,
Larry woke up this morning just dying because his stomach hurt so bad.
That's why her
Oh, how
jokes are
funny.
Her comments make me laugh hard. Oh my goodness, I love her. She's so
Right?
darn funny.
I know.
That's why her jokes are so
Um,
clean.
Larry said, that's why your jokes are so clean because there's Dawn.
So yeah, slow cookers. There is liners and you can throw them away. You're right. But we just do it the old-fashioned way of washing because I like to make sure our dishes are clean. I'm picky.
And with
Yeah, me
the
too.
when you use the Instapot, they don't have
Yeah.
liners that you can
Yeah.
use for pressure cooking. So I wish they would. That would be amazing.
Right.
It'd be a
'Cause
lot easier.
Yeah. I use my Instapot constantly. And it's like if I'm using it in crock pot mode, I can use the liner. But if I'm using it as a pressure cooker, you can't.
My pool
I know.
is coming up behind me.
Oh no. Is that Steve?
Yep.
So you know,
I
I
say
really
Johnny
gotta
Dean's
ask.
over here zipping the zipper. I think he's ready to go.
I really gotta ask Brooke. Did you get some blow-up dolls?
No. No is the answer I'm sticking with.
I'm sorry, I loved your comment earlier, so I gotta ask, what did you get?
She
Another
can't
show.
say 'cause- She can't say because it was a present, so it has to be top secret.
Yep.
Oh my God, help me! That was funny.
Oh my gosh, right?
Dawn's like, Brooke's like, I'm dying. Oh my gosh.
It's awesome though.
We can all go to Angela's, have a pool party, and bring up some blow-up dolls. Hey!
Right?
And Steve's gonna be our bartender, I guess.
Right?
Yeah, boy.
Give me some coffee.
Yeah.
Bartender, we need another drink. Coming.
Make it coffee.
We all need to go to Miami.
Please.
Oh gosh.
On the beach.
Come.
Right? Stack him right up there. Yep, there we go. Put a big awning out. Hey, we got a party going.
Yeah.
Trucker style. There we go.
It's lit up now, so it's extra.
I see it. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
You're a tease. That's
I
not
love
nice.
it.
I know.
So jealous.
Pretty.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We're coming to Miami like now. That looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Right?
On my way.
Bring it on, girls. Bring it on.
All right, it's go gadget time. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Go gadget.
Oh.
Go,
So
go, go.
I'm gonna. I know everybody's got places to go, and we got to start wrapping up the show. So I do want to mention a few things before we cut. One, we want to thank Truckers TV for helping us out, and Brooke and I are on that, and I will put up the thing in a minute. Also, I want to mention that next week's show, we're going to be talking about the loneliness on the road, whether you're a truck driver, trucker's wife, trucker's girlfriend, whatever, how it can be lonely out there and it can be very isolating. And a lot of times depression sets in. So if you are one of those people that has experienced that, we would love to have you on the show next week to kind of discuss it about it. I know Brooke's been through it. I've been through it.
Yep.
Angela's been through it. So, lots of people go through it, and so figured it's a good topic to discuss. Also, if you guys know somebody that's in the industry, whether it's a truck driver, dispatcher, mechanic, tow truck driver, a hostler, anything that you think would be good to be in our show, contact one of us, and we would love to have them on the show. I think that's it. Oh, Dawn said, what size inverters do you guys have on your trucks? I said, do you know what ours is, Lee?
I don't know that answer.
Ours is 2,000 watt.
I've got
Those
a
are-
20.
Ours is 2,000.
Yeah.
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 I've got 2,500. So.
Yeah. I
But
think
the
ours
only-
is 2,500.
The only thing with that, even though we have the big thing, we can be running the TV and the gallons, but we can't like run the TV, the gallons, and the
Yes.
the Keurig
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah,
You still
it's
have
same
to.
thing here. Yeah,
So
it's
you
one
gotta,
thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. You
a little
I
bit
can't
at a time.
I can't tell you how many times I'm cooking breakfast and then I go to make a cup of coffee and I blow I'm like, dang it!
Right?
I forgot to make coffee till I'm done cooking.
We'll be in the middle cooking. James will do something. I'm like, oh no, are you serious about it again?
Yep, that's the way it goes.
I'll be
Well,
I'll be boiling noodles on the hot plate, and go to heat up or thaw the hamburger in the glands, and there we go.
Oh, yeah.
There it went.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I want to thank Lorie for coming on the show with us. But I know we're like 23 minutes over, and I know, Brooke, you've had a long day, so we got to wrap it up. So I want
Thanks so
to,
much, guys.
I know. Is there anything I forgot or anything you girls want to mention before we close the show?
I think we're good.
I think we're
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
Be
All
safe out there.
Be safe, guys.
Yeah.
Love you all. Bye.
Yes.
Oh, I did have one more thing to mention. I'm going to put this up. We are going to start offering advertising during our shows. We're going to offer both static advertising and also video advertising. So if anybody's interested, you can feel free to contact us. And I can't get these stupid comments off. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to hide it. There we go. Also, don't forget, you can follow us on our Facebook group. So just follow us on Facebook. It's Truckers Safety Divas. And if I can find my thing, also, all of our shows are on YouTube. So if you've missed a show, you can go to YouTube, catch all of our shows. So don't forget to go there. Please be sure to like, heart, and share our videos because we truly, truly appreciate every one of you guys. And I apologize,
Yes.
we have a few comments and I don't want to leave anybody out. So thank you. Cindy says, thank you, ladies. Have a good night. Brian Kelly, he's so sweet. Be safe, everyone.
Love you, BK.
I know, he's so sweet. And Dawn said, stay safe. Thanks for a great show. So I hope I got everyone. Oh, Dawn said she has a 1,500 watt and she wanted to get an air fryer for her truck. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Just
One
just
more.
double check and ask if you're not sure.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, look in the box and you should know. And Chad says, good night, ladies. I try not to miss anybody's comments.
Well, if we missed your comments, we love you guys. And thanks so much for watching. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, guys. And we'll see you guys next week. Please don't forget to follow us on Facebook and all of our social media platforms. We love you all. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, ladies, for being with me every week. I couldn't do the show without you. I love you.
Love you. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Bye, guys.